January the 30th, 1933. Hitler is named Chancellor. Nazi stormtroopers and students burn books at the University of Berlin. Into the flames go some 20,000 books, books which shape the contemporary culture of Europe and the world, books by Jews, books by anyone not liked by the Nazis. It is May the 10th, 1933, and on Propaganda Minister Goebbels' orders, scenes like this are enacted all over Germany. In the capital, Goebbels himself takes charge. He states the age of Jewish intellectualism is finished. Out of the rubble, out of these ashes, the phoenix of a new spirit shall rise and triumph. It can be but a prelude. When one begins to burn books, one ends by burning people. So warned Heinrich Heine 100 years earlier. And so it was to be. In May 1937, SS Gruppenführer Eich reported that the Ettersberg site, a wooded hill 4 miles from Weimar, could hold a concentration camp housing 8,000 inmates and 1,300 guards. Work was begun by the SS in the summer of 1937, and they called the camp Buchenwald. The first intake of prisoners had to clear the woodland and build their own prison. These outcasts of Nazi society built a modern military complex for training SS Totenkopf units, a complex dedicated to violence which was cut off from the outside world. On the 8th of November 1937, Heinrich Himmler, Reichsführer SS and Chief of Police, ordered that political and criminal prisoners should be interned in camps for several years until their will was broken. According to statistics, by the end of 1937 there were 2,561 prisoners being held at Buchenwald. The NSDAP party rally in Nuremberg, 1937. The workers idolized Adolf Hitler. The people and their Führer shared a dream of a greater Germany. Propaganda, warmongering and racial discrimination began to take hold. The police and surveillance organization run by Himmler's SS started to systematically eliminate all opposition. The state publicly denounced its enemies. These included Social Democrats, Communists, Jews, Gypsies, homosexuals, Jehovah's Witnesses, social outcasts and criminals. The SS organized efficient transportation to the camps, where the prisoners were dehumanized and became nothing more than a category and a number.
Was ein Konzentrationslager wirklich ist, das wusste man damals nicht und das kann man eigentlich heute auch kaum beschreiben. Das kann man eigentlich nur erleben.
Wir mussten uns anziehen, antreten und dann sind wir irgendwo hingeführt worden. Wir wussten ja nicht, wir sahen nichts, es war dunkle Nacht. Aber dann hörten wir marschieren, 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 immer die Tritte. Und es war unheimlich, wie viel da marschiert sind und so. Das konnte man gar nicht vorstellen, was ist denn da, ist nicht los. Aber wir haben da am Rand vom Appellplatz gestanden. Und die anderen, die aus der Baracke kamen und so weiter, die sind da zum Appell aufmarschiert.
Work was designed to sap the strength and curb resistance. It was physically exhausting. Those who could no longer work were sent to the gas chamber. Any contravention against camp regulations resulted in the most brutal and violent punishment. the SS ruled with oppression and terror. The working parties and the quarries witnessed terrible brutality and cold-blooded murder. The official cause of death, according to the SS, was always accidents, falling rocks, or being shot while trying to escape.
Und in den ersten Jahren, also vor dem Krieg, da stellten die SS-Truppenverbände die Postenketten rings um den Berg tagsüber auf den Wachtürmen und als Begleitposten, wenn Häftlinge oder Häftlingskolonnen außerhalb arbeiten mussten, außerhalb der Postenkette oder auch Steinbruch und so weiter. Das waren Mörder.
Ich bin einmal durch eine Lacherstraße gegangen und zwischen zwei Blöcken, also die Lacherstraße geht quer und die Blöcke standen dann senkrecht dazu und zwischen zwei Blöcken stand ein SS-Mann. Ich habe aber den nicht schnell genug gesehen und habe nicht schnell genug meine Mütze vom Kopf gerissen, wie das Vorschrift war. Der hat mich bestraft mit Aufhängen am Baum.
Buchenwald was ruled by fear, with hours of standing in line for roll call, incessant beatings, floggings, hangings, sadistic acts of torture and executions. The basic rules for survival were: be watchful at all times, do not draw attention to yourself, and try to make yourself invisible. The SS thought that all prisoners were filth and garbage to be discarded. To approach a guard or attract his attention was certain to end in death or a terrible beating. Adolf Hitler arrives in Weimar. The dictator presented himself to his people as the wondrous saviour of Germany. Jubilation, ecstasy and fanaticism in Weimar, the town of German poets and philosophers, and where the people were so proud to have been the first to vote for National Socialism. Terror soon became part of daily life. In November 1938, railway wagons containing thousands of Jews arrived at the station in Weimar.
Für mich damals völlig unvorstellbare Szene, nämlich sämtliche Leute wurden mit Ochsenziehern und teilweise mit Gewehrkolben empfangen, dann an die Wand gejagt und da schlugen die Leute dann auf uns ein. Ich habe keine Ahnung, ob das 1 Minute dauerte oder 5 Minuten, da vergisst man ja die Zeit. Und dann plötzlich irgendwann wieder vorbei, dann hieß es raus, raus, Juden raus, weiter. Dann liefen wir auf den Platz vor dem Bahnhof, da waren Militärwagen, oder Wagen, die aussahen wie Militärwagen. Und da wurden wir wieder hineingeprügelt, und zwar natürlich auch überfüllt, man konnte kaum etwas sehen. Und dann begann eine schnelle Fahrt ins Unbekannte.
Since 1933, the Jews had been systematically deprived of their rights in Germany. By November 1938, Jewish businesses and synagogues lay in ruins throughout Germany, and 9,828 new prisoners were registered in Buchenwald. The SS intensified their ruthless and brutal campaign of terror, and 163 deaths were reported in just 4 weeks. On the 13th of November, a small grey-haired man was found dead on the ground with terrified, open, staring eyes. He had clearly been electrocuted by the electric fence running around the perimeter wall. The first of many to take his own life.
Dinge, an die man glaubt, die gibt man nicht so schnell auf. Wir waren lange der Meinung, dass das, was da geschieht, etwas ist, was mit den Verantwortlichen eigentlich gar nichts zu tun hat.
Guard selection for camp duty was subject to the most stringent requirements. SS Gruppenführer Eick believed that the SS Totenkopf units embodied the true elite. The men had to be at least 6 feet tall, they had to be of German nationality, and show proof of 100 years of pure Aryan stock in their family. Germany began to arm itself to take over the world. The war was not just about gaining Lebensraum, or living space, for the self-appointed master race. Its manifesto was to subjugate all other peoples and eliminate those who were branded as inferior under National Socialism. The German population were either jubilant or silent. Concentration camps had already been accepted as part of everyday life. Weimar lived with Buchenwald, and the enemies of the community were successfully excluded from society. Not far from the camp perimeter fence, you could see the National Socialist family ideal enjoyed by the Buchenwald camp commandant. SS Sturmbannführer Karl Koch and his wife Ilse were greatly feared in the camp. He said that only the healthy or the dead would be tolerated at Buchenwald. Buchenwald changed dramatically in 1939 following the outbreak of war. The victorious generals sent their prisoners to the camps. Thousands of Polish and Jewish prisoners were dutifully registered, disinfected, then tortured to death. The German war machine overran Poland, Belgium, the Netherlands, and then defeated France. By the end of 1940, there were officially 7,440 prisoners registered in Buchenwald. In September 1941, the first group of Russian POWs were brought to the camp, and the sound of rifle shots from the execution squads behind the closed stable doors was drowned out by loud gramophone music. The war against the Soviet Union finally brought the National Socialist advance to a halt. Soldiers were needed at the front, and there was a labor shortage in the German Reich. But Reichsführer SS Himmler still had access to an inexhaustible supply of slave laborers. The SS had gallows set up for public executions to put fear into the other prisoners.